Good morning, everyone. How are we doing? Hope everyone can hear me. If you can't, please do speak out. But hopefully, if everything's gone correctly, I'm setting up, everyone can hear me all right. I've temporarily misplaced, we'll call it, my mic. So if I sound a bit different than previous weeks, that is why. But hopefully, quality is still there and everyone can hear me and understand me. So if you can hear me, just let me know in the chat. Any questions if anyone's got, again, leave them in the chat. I'll be able to read all of them and I'll hopefully be able to get back to all of them throughout this live build. So we have 40 people in the chat this morning. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's all right. Okay, so Andrew's saying the link on the email yesterday was wrong and that's why only a small amount of people are watching. And a few people are saying that I sound fine, which is, okay, that's brilliant. Well, if we've only got 40 people this week, that's not the end of the world. We'll just have to make do with what we've got. But today, something a little bit different today. We're not necessarily doing a kit build. We are building kits, but I'm going to show you how then you apply them to your layout. That's going to be the biggest thing. These kits are dead easy to build. These will take a couple of minutes each. So as soon as these are built, I'm going to show you. I'm going to take you over to the layout, which stop trying to pat your head and rub your belly at the same time. You can see behind me. I'm going to show you how you can take them over to your layout, how you implement them, and then also how you paint and weather them to blend in nicely with your layout. So hopefully you can see in my trusty camera, but we have a couple of shipping crates. These, I'll show you one of them. These cost about £4.39 each, I believe. As you can see there, dead simple kit to build. You don't need to be a genius to work out how these go together, and they are perfect for steamer, wagon loads, and station scenic details, which is what I model, so what I was using them for. We've also got a timber load, which again is dead easy. So I'm trying to camera's the wrong way around today. It's putting me off. Okay, so Sam Hill's saying I'm very laggy on the front-facing camera. That is because it's my desktop. I will bonk that on the head now. There you go. Okay, so since it's a desktop, it's just a bit slower than my phone. It's not as up to date, I suppose. So the other one we've got is a timber load. Again, dead easy kit to build. You just layer some of them up, and then once you've laid them up, you can paint them all up. And I'll show you how you do that. Then we've also got small and large cable drums. This pack costs about £10, I believe. I can't remember the exact price. And this one is considerably cheaper, but you get obviously a lot less in the kit. These are your bigger, I'm not sure how to explain them, more industrial sized cable loads. These are for your, I suppose your BT relay boxes, what you see around there. Still both great kits, but I'll be using this one particularly as a wagon load. Before we get into it, I'll just show you the wagons I'll be loading up today. First one we've got is a 51L Northeastern Railway Fixed Diagram 210 plate wagon. I built this couple of months ago, still not painted it. Bit of a running joke that I'll never paint it. That's just because I haven't got the right paint. But it's a brilliant kit, and I'll show you how to detail that up in a minute. We've also got let's get it. Second wagon. This is also a 51L model white metal kit. This one my good friend Jesse Sim painted for me and built for me actually over in Australia as a gift, so I'm very, very appreciative of this. I'm going to be detailing that one up today. So pull that to one side. Okay, so let's get into it. I think we're going to start with the easy ones. So let's start with a timber load. That is a dead easy kit to build. Don't need to be particularly kit savvy to build it. If I can do it, anyone can. So I hope everyone's doing all right this morning. I hope everyone can still hear and see me okay. If you can't, let me know and I'll try and fit around the settings a bit. Like I say, I've forgotten, well, I've lost my mic this week, so any issues, let me know. I'll have to try and sort them out as we go. But if anyone's got any questions as well about what I'm doing, what the company's doing at the moment, how we're doing, any questions really, throw them in the chat and I'll have a look at answering them. Okay, so to build this kit, we just need to release. Just trying to find where the nodes are. Okay, they're there, they're on that side. Dead simple. Just release as you go. So if you're watching on Facebook, good morning. Watching on YouTube, good morning. I can see comments from all platforms. So if you leave a comment wherever you're watching, I'll be able to see it and get back to you. Okay, so quite a few people saying that the link they were sent is wrong. I don't know if Justin's watching this, but I don't think there's much we can do at this point. We're just going to have to cope as we go along. I've just released the first layer of the wooden timber load, and you can see they're nicely detailed. And once you glue them all together, you get a nice looking kit. So just going to keep going. Well, I'm going to do one of each. There's no point in me doing 3 or 4. Just going to do one, so you can see how they go together, and then you can see how I paint them up. I'll be trying different methods as well to what I did last time with the paint. I'll see how we get along, because the oil method I use is quite good, but unfortunately, since you're using oil paint, it takes 24 hours to dry and cure, which isn't very good for a live stream video, because then you're literally watching paint dry for a whole day. Of course, a smart thing to do would be to make some and paint them up yesterday, but of course I am not that organised. So good morning if you just joined us. Quite a few people are saying that the kit, the link that you were sent yesterday, last night was wrong. That was for last week's video. I do apologise about that. If you've only just joined us, welcome, and hope you're all doing well. So we need to release some of these smaller parts now. Sure how many? I can use 3, so we'll release 3 for each. I'm only going to do one, like I said, there's no point in me doing multiples. Again, the main part of this video is for me to show you how to implement these on your layout, and how you actually use them to better effect. Okay, so we're also going to release some of the loose planks as well. So I'm not going to glue these on, but just to show you how they look, because I am doing these as wagon loads. So in theory, they should all be secured and loaded. If I just release some of them, right there, push that to one side, put the lid on, because it's a very sharp knife, don't want to have any accidents like Justin did. Okay, and then we're ready to get going. So I'm just going to look in the chat. Yeah, a lot of people are saying they got the wrong link. I do apologise about that. We'll try and solve that for next week. Yeah, I do apologise about that. Someone's just saying they want to see the camera repositioned so you see less of my hairy arms. So I can, apologies if it's rustling for you, or if you're getting nauseous. But if I try and just angle this a bit better, hopefully I can get this to work. Also get it a bit level, that will help as well. Hopefully it's a bit better for you. No idea if that's made any difference, to be honest. Yeah, that's just either Justin or Ian's just said I have limited space. I do. I don't have a full size. I do have a full size desk, but it's messy. It's full of other things. So I don't have the privilege of having proper desk cams like we do at HQ. So we'll have to make do with what we've got. Just going to clean that up a bit. Just take the burr off from the nodes that I release. Always recommend you do this. Just gives the kit a bit of a smoother finish, bit of a cleaner edge. Not vital you do it at all. Definitely not. But it just means everything looks a bit neater. Okay, so we've got quite a lot of people in the chat now. We've got 105, building up slowly. So good morning, everyone. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me know what you're doing today, what you're doing this weekend. Actually, I do plan on doing another live stream on Friday night if Postman Pat delivers on time and brings me what I'm after. I may actually be doing another live stream on Friday. So if you're interested in that after work, after 5 PM, do come along and we'll see what's about. I'll not ruin any surprises, but it should be good. Should, in theory. Okay, so first part you have to do is take one of the planks, get some of the smaller laser cuts planks as well, flip it over and glue them on the base in an approximately equal manner. I'm going to use, actually, the node position as a marker. If you do get this kit, you'll see that when you release them, you have to cut away what we call nodes from the sprue to release them. And they actually appear to give you quite good spacing markers for these little planks. So I'm just going to follow them. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. If not, I do apologise. I'm using the sort of material laser cut kit glue here. It's my preferred glue of choice, closely followed by Superfatic. Gives you a little bit more working time than the others, I find, but it gives you a bit of a better bite once it's gone off. And it's also much finer to apply due to the laser accurate pin you've got to apply it with. Okay, so they're not actually too straight, as you can see. They're a bit on the off. But oh well, we'll manage with what we've got, and we'll just keep going, as always in life. Nothing was ever perfect, so now it's a simple job of just gluing these over the top. So nice spread of glue without gluing your fingers, which is something I'm very good at. I'm a very, very messy modeller, both in CAD, as Justin will tell you, and in real life. I always seem to get my fingers covered in glue. So let's get that piece on. So Fillerton Central is saying that he's taken a break from a layout, been brainstorming how to motorise a turntable. Ooh, that is a very good question there, Brian. All I would suggest is my friend Chris Grouse, who is an LNER modeller. He's done a model of Richmond Station very, very, very nicely. It looks pretty stunning. And he's just released a video on motorising a Pico turntable. It's not something we're looking at to do in the immediate future, a turntable kit. We would like to one day, but there is a million things we would like to do one day, as people will be able to tell you. But I recommend, I'm not sure what his layout's called on YouTube, but he's just done a video on it. His name's Chris Grouse, and he's doing a model of Richmond. So if you search for that, Brian, you should be able to find it. However, I do not know what his layout's called, so I can't help you any further, I'm afraid. Yeah, Steve saying I'm not the only one to get fingers covered in glue. That is very true. I think it must be the most common annoyance for us modelers, getting covered in glue. Yes, I'm nearly done. As you can see, all I'm doing is gluing the layers up of this timber load. So if anyone's got any questions in the chat, please let me know. I'll be able to answer them. If anyone's got any questions about what I'm doing, what modelling I do, what I do within the company, what the company's doing recently, what we've got planned, any questions like that, fire them away and I'll do my best to answer. Hopefully we're getting there now. So Tinkerzen's saying that they're laser cutting his own design of Space's platform, Top Sports Pico platform. Is that the, what do you call it? The concrete prefab platform you're doing? Because we are looking at doing our own kit of that in the very near future. Hopefully next week, or this week maybe. But the concrete prefab platform is something I keep badgering Justin for. So hopefully we get that sooner rather than later. I think it'll be a nice one to do. Suits all areas. King's Cross was a concrete prefab, and so were a lot of platforms. So it's not just a modern thing, that. So last layer on, not doing a very tall one. You do get quite a lot in the kit. As you can see, I've used one row. We'll have two more, so if you want to do a really big one, you can do that, or if you want to 3 smaller ones or even less. In various sizes, of course, you can do that. Okay, so normally, if you wanted, you could take these spare planks that we provide and then just glue them over the top, sort of like that. Hopefully you can see that to give the impression that people have come to take some planks away and left a couple, so it's in use. But since mine, actually, you know what? We're going to do that because I'm going to put this on the platform as if they're renovating the fencing or something. So we are going to do that. All I'm going to do then is put a splash of glue on one end, splash, glue on the other, a bit more glue on, and position it pretty randomly over your plank. Let the glue go off a second. Post a link to the video to this page. Not sure which page that is, Snow Andrews, but if Ian or Justin's listening, I'm sure they'll be working in the background to get that sorted. Okay, so typically that wasn't quite enough glue, so I'm going to do it the other way around. I'm going to glue onto the plank, like that. Something doesn't work, try it the other way around. And of course, if it's a USB stick and it doesn't go in, it's always a third time it goes in, even as only 2 ways it can go. Anyway, so I'm nearly done on this kit actually. It's, like I say, these are very, very simple kits to do. You'll have these done in next to no time. And these are perfect kits for what we call evening modelling. So you've got home from work, you just want to do a bit of modelling. Within half an hour, you've got the kit built. Within an hour, you got it painted. And within an hour and 5 minutes, you've got it on the layout ready to go. So there we go. That is the timber load done. Try and get that in shots. It's like patting your head and scratching your back in the mirror. It's a bit complicated to work out which way to tilt it so you can see it. So there you go. Nice and simple timber load. That's perfect for plonking in your yard, on your platform, or even on a wagon. Sorted. First one done. Next, we are going to be doing shipping trays. Why not? That's top of the pile. I'll have a look at that one. This is again a bit more complex than the timber load. 6 sides to a box, so when you've got the open frame that goes around the box. Dead simple, dead easy, dead fun. So let's get back our swan and mortar and knife, and then carefully run around all the nodes, releasing it from the sprue. It shouldn't take us too long. Hopefully that's nearly there. It's just held in a little bit there. Release him. And this one's being a bit awkward. Why? Because I forgot to. There we go. And then 2 more, top and bottom. Or the sides. I'll let you decide. Hopefully that is. Of course, always one you forget. Always 2 you forget. Okay, so hopefully you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Can everyone hear me now? Hopefully. We all good? Okay, so if you can hear me now, try and let me know. If you can't hear me, right. Has that worked, everyone? Yes, right. Okay, I do apologise about that. Like I say, I have lost my my normal mic. So I'm using the mic on my iPhone, and I've no idea why that decided to cut out then. There was no reason for it to. It's plugged in. It should be all working. So again, I don't know why that happened, but thank you for being patient with me, and thank you for putting up with the very annoying sound that happened when I tried to turn the mic on my laptop, and it reverberated against the phone for some reason, even though the phone mic wasn't working. Don't know why that happened. Anyhow, we're back on track, and we're building a kit. We're building the crate thingies. These are the larger crates. It's simple to build. The laser cut kit glue, if you're using this to do something like this, it takes a second for it to go off. It's not an instant bind, so you just need to hold it or employ the use of the SX002 jig sort of thing, just to hold it in place. Oops. In fact, you know what? We're not going to force something that doesn't want to go. We're just going to happily leave him as he is. They are a bit fine and a bit brittle. I'm going to try and make it so you can see it. So thank you everyone for putting up with me. Well, people are saying he's still got no sounds. If everyone can, if the sound does go again, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to sort it out. The only thing that seemed to work was for me to kick myself out and then rejoin. It's quite annoying, but oh well. So hopefully, if this glue goes off in a second, hopefully if no one says they've lost sound again, which would be annoying. Okay, so in theory we can glue these two halves together. Simple box construction. I'll glue the two halves, short ends to a long end twice, and now I'm just gluing the two together. Sound on but feedback. Is that the same for everyone? Okay, so Aaron in Lincolnshire is saying you can hear me all right, which is good news. But if anyone else can't, please do let me know. I'm not sure why there is feedback, if any, because I've only got one microphone on. So unless I'm doing an echo impersonation. Okay, everyone's saying sounds good, which is great. I have no idea why that happens, and I do apologise. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Okay, so the box is now pretty much done. Hopefully you can see that. There's a bit of a delay for me on my screen, so I can't quite see what you can see in real time, but the box is simply done. All I'm going to do now is run some glue over the top. In the corners. Make sure you get plenty in the corners. And glue the top piece on. If it decides to go. Hopefully it goes. There we go. clicks in. Since it's such a small fiddly thing to do, it is quite hard for me to show you, but it is literally just a box. Okay, so Digger is saying, is that super glue or rocket card? Neither. It is Deluxe Materials laser cut kit glue. As you can see there, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's available to order from us directly. It costs about £6.70, £7, something like that, for a bottle. One bottle will last you absolutely ages. I've used this for loads and loads of kits, and the bottle still feels as full as it did when I got it. I don't think you'll ever really realise that you're running out, to be fair. Are these in double gauge? Yes, they are, Andrew. They are available in O, I believe. I'm not sure about N, but if I have a quick look. So these are the shipping crates. They are available in double O and O gauge by the looks of it. In double O, they cost £5.49, and in O gauge, some slight different variants. They are also available for a slightly different price, slightly lower price by the looks of it, but they are slightly different. They're fruit containers rather than shipping containers. So there we have a very nice cardboard box. All we need to do now is release the surround, as I suppose you'd call it, the open frame surround, and glue that thing on. Bear with 1 second while I pretend to concentrate on doing this. So hopefully on Friday, if everything goes well, I have some more white metal kits coming. I have a wagon coming on 51L models. I can't remember what it is now. It's a plate wagon of some description, I believe. Not too sure on the variant or flavour. Definitely it's a Northeastern Railway design diagram, because it's good for my layout. But I also have my first etch kit coming, which is a not 51L. It's a Comet Models kit of a Thomson 6-wheel brake van, luggage van. So that should be quite interesting to build, I reckon. So hopefully, if everything goes all right, I will be live for all your common channels, Facebook, YouTube, through the Facebook club, and on Facebook pages, building them after work on Friday. Nice chill out evening. Answer some of your questions if you have any. Hopefully, you're ready to go for the next stage. Of course we're not, because as always, I've forgotten or didn't see some notes. There we go. So if you're interested in seeing me attempt to build a white metal kit, you can join me on Friday. Any news about the Southern Region concrete platform walls? Yes, we are working on them. They are coming. It's just a case of when. But they are coming. Okay, so with these, I think I'm going to opt to glue the ends on first. Just making sure that there's a right way round. Okie doke. Yeah, I can see how they go. And I presume they are flush. Yep, they're flush. I'm going to glue. So in this kit, there you get flush-ended ones, which hopefully you can see. I've got the part in hand. They align to be nice and flush over the top, but you also have the thicker ones, which have a little overhang on each end. So to make it easier on myself, I'm going to glue the flush-sided ones on first. Just running a line of glue over the edges there. Just hold it in place. Don't need much. Please try and be careful and get this lined up pretty much first time, because it should be quite awkward to realign. And that's gone straight on, straight in the right place. Dead easy. Deltic Dave, don't jinx it for me. I'll know what's going to happen. Somebody's going to kick me out again. I'm not too sure why. Finance Central saying Amazon do small products in large boxes. So do a well-known model shop. It's quite common that you'll order some fish plates or decoder from them and you get a great big large parcel from them with loads of packaging and loads of leaflets in which you don't want. We all know who I'm talking about. Okay, so this is the other end of the flush side. Make sure that's all lined up. I haven't actually taken my time to clean these parts up like I normally would, so they may be a bit rough around the edges, shall we say. But of course, if you were doing this for yourself, you should take the time to just file the nodes back a bit, just to make everything a bit cleaner. It's always something I recommend. Okay, so now I'm going to glue the top pieces on. These have a slight overhang to compensate for the flush side of ones we've just put on. So you should do them next. I think this is quite a nice order. I've done it in. Everything seems to go nicely when you do the flush side of films first, because then they act as a guide for the ones with overhangs, so you don't get them too far over. Make sure you get them the right way up as well. I don't know if you can see that, but there's one side which is the back. There you go. And you've got one side which has got a tiny bit of just inscribed detail on. There's a chap with a saw outside as well, so I do apologise if you can hear that. Okay, so make sure that's lined up nicely. He appears to be so. Oops. Push a little too far. Hopefully that is all lined up. Yep, so now I'm going to do the opposite side. Don't think it's a bit straight, so just try and nudge that back in. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Do the opposite side. So if anyone's got any questions, fire away. Yeah, so Richard's saying that he had an issue for the live build. That is, yeah, we are aware of that. I think Justin accidentally put a link into the wrong live stream. Well, not the wrong live stream, sorry, but last week's live stream. So obviously you won't be able to find it today. But I will let him know later that that happened, so hopefully we can avoid that happening in the future. But we have got 99 people still in the stream, which is great. Hopefully everyone's doing all right, having a good day. So there we are, we're very nearly finished now. Just got the two ends to glue on, and then we'll crack out the paints, I think. Since we've got a couple of kits to do today, I think it'll be wise for us to build some, paint some, so we can progress further and quicker, I suppose. Because obviously the paints take, or can take, a while to dry sometimes. So if we do the painting stages, then we should be laughing. Or was it Sucking on Diesel if you're watching Line of Duty. I've not started it yet, but I absolutely loved the previous season. It's one of my favourite things on telly. If I had a telly, I'd be watching it. Just make sure we get these the right way around, because there is a short and a long end. They do fit in only one way. Give it a little squeeze, send it home. Yeah, so Andrew's saying add a small magnet to make it easier to position them. That is a good idea. You can do that, definitely. There is plenty of space inside for the magnet. But as you can see there, hopefully you can see that. Like I said, there is a bit of a delay on my screen. But we have a nice looking container. Nice and simple kit to do. Dead easy. Like I say, it's just gone 10:30, and we already, if I can find the other one that I've done, we already have two little kits built together. Now, of course, if you weren't entertaining a live stream, sorting out mic issues and building a couple of these in one go, then you can get these built way quicker than I can. So Rob's asking, can I turn the volume up on my end? Only if I talk louder, I'm afraid. There's not much I can do for the audio settings here. Sorry, just enjoying some council pop there. Yeah, there's not much I can do on my end apart from talk louder, I think. So unless you can turn up on your end, I think there's not much we can do there. So I think, what should I do? Should I paint it now? No, you know what? Since we've only half an hour in, we've had technical issues, I'm going to crack on with a cable drum. So we don't need him anymore. He's done with. Not going to build, I might build smaller shipping crates. They are dead easy. They're exactly the same construction method. They're just square rather than rectangles. We've got small small cable drums and the larger ones. Now these do look more complex, so maybe if I take more time to show you how I do these. So Paul's saying you can hear 2 different conversations. I'm not sure why, because I only have one microphone on, which shouldn't happen, but as we've seen earlier, microphones are a mysterious, wonderful and god-awful thing all at the same time, because they have a mind of their own. So I'm not sure what I can do about that on my end, unfortunately. Right, let's get crack on with these large cable drums. Dead easy thing to build. Number 1, release the core drums from the MDF sheet and glue 3 them in together. So you got, looks like you got, that works. Very easy. Only going to do 1, but it looks like you get 4 per pack. So all we need to do these biscuit-shaped MDF cores. Wouldn't recommend eating them. Not very good for you. Although they do look quite tasty, especially the chocolate around the edge. I'm sure Greg Walls would be all over these if he could. Put the second one on. Dead easy. Get that all lined up nicely. So Aaron says looks pretty good about the points. Yeah, the good thing about actually producing kits out of wood is it already looks like wood, because it is wood. So you don't really need to paint them. You can if you want. If you wanted a pristine look, then I suppose this is good for you pristine. But if you're a guy like me who likes things to be mucky, dirty, and in use, then I suppose it won't take much effort to paint them up a bit to make them a little bit grubby. But our biscuits come on nicely. Now we've got a triple layer Oreo looking thing. Just making sure, pressing down on the flat surface to make sure that they're all flat, square and true. So that is the first stage done. You do get smaller options in here as well. You get an extra large one. I'm not going to do them for the sake of repeating myself, but unless someone wants me to. But this is just the same method for all of them. So that's that done. Going to let that dry for a second. Okay, so now we need to get sheet 1, which is this one, with all your nice pretty details on it. You can have just noticed that. I've never noticed that before. But if you actually zoom in on the cable drums, you have SMS logo on the top, and on the bottom you have our phone number. I've never noticed that before. That is a brilliant extra detail there. Okay, so just looking at this, it looks like we need to release the large pieces. I've never built this kit before, actually. Never seen it, so I am going with the flow. And I'm trying to read the instructions at the same time as build it and look at comments and check the microphone's not switched off on me again. So there is a chance, unfortunately, that I might miss something in the instructions, misread something. So of course you read all the instructions twice through before you start. I'm just jumping straight into it for the sake of the live stream here. Okay, so it looks like, yeah, so these are the backs. There we go. And I believe, if I am correct, yeah, it looks like you glue this facing inwards, 2 of these facing in. It's not quite been released properly. Like I say, I am juggling many different things at the moment, so it is more than likely and entirely possible that I missed something. So if I do as I say, not as I do. Okay, so it looks like they're actually for the smaller ones. Like I say, I am eyeballing this a bit, to be fair. Hopefully, let me just confirm the instructions. Okay, I see. Right, I see. So if you want one that's open, and you can see the cable on the inside, I believe use the smaller ones, because then you wrap it in your cabling, and you have interior detail to put them on, and you won't use the exterior casing. But if you're doing it as a full load, like I am, you use the larger cores, glue them together, then you glue on the exterior, like so, and then you glue this piece on, which is your casing. So in theory, if I glue this on now, that should be correct. But like I say, I am eyeballing this a bit, unfortunately. So let's just go for it. You only live once, and it's not the end of the world if I make a mistake, because then hopefully you won't. So let's just line this up a bit. There's a hole in the middle for you to line up with. Press down firm. Again, there are some slight notches around this because I haven't had the time to clean them up with a file, but normally you would. Oops, and that's just come off. Not quite enough pressure to make the glue go off. Hold that down for a second and just have a look at the comments. Does this kit include printed labels for the sides of the drums as per prototype when new? No, it does not, is the simple answer, but there is some inscribed detailing on the sides. So you can see that it says SMS at the top and our phone number at the bottom. So I'm just going to press this down for a second to make sure this goes off. Just reading the comments. Last time I seen the scale drums was when Justin was playing with the design. Yeah, this kit is the Alex 231. So this kit is probably about 1.5 years old now. It's older than I've been with the company, because I started around LX 300, LX 295 or some things when I started, and this is 231. So this is quite, it's not an old kit, it's 1 year old, this kit, or over 1 year old. Other side, nice and simple. Now I'm going to try and get the planks lined up on either end, like a coin, if that makes sense. So if you view it from both ends, it is correct. And there we go, that looks about right to me. So for instance, it's got sausage fingers. Yep, I definitely suffer with that as well. I am not an elegant and dainty kit builder. I am a messy one. But sometimes messy is a way forward. Oops. Okay, so not quite enough glue on that for some reason. That didn't want to go. So let's try again. Thought I had plenty on, but maybe not. Making sure we go the right way up. Making sure we try and get the planks lined up so they face the same way. Make sure it's straight. I'll press down on a flat surface just to make sure that goes in straight. So any questions? Anyone's got any questions, fire them away in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. I've got questions about what I model. I do British ex-Northeastern Railway. I'm currently building a model of the Esk Valley Railway, or a representation of, based on the Esk Valley and the Whitby Scarborough Railway. Okay, so it looks like the next step is to wrap it carefully in the casing. You do get open versions of this as well, so you do get wire to put inside to make it look like there's a load inside. But since I'm doing it as a wagon load, an open wagon load, I'm going to do it enclosed. So that means I just need to quickly release this around. But don't know why I'm doing 2, because I'm only doing 1. So let's just quickly do this. Oops. I've just accidentally cut through another piece of wood for the later part of the kit by accident. Don't do that. Just going to tidy it up a bit because it's a bit messy on my half. And the other end, in fact, I'm just going to give that a quick file so I can get a nice clean edge. So John's saying the great kits. Thanks for joining us, John. Yeah, we do. We like them as well. They are wonderful kits to build. We like the idea of having kits that you can start them in an evening, then by the end of the night, you have a kit which is on your layout, ready to go. So I'm just tidying these up a bit just to give them a clean edge, since this is quite large detail parts. So in theory, this should wrap around our cable drum. So I'm going to carefully bend it too. Carefully wrap it around. It does go with some pressure. With quite a lot of pressure, it does go. So pre-form it like that. I find that works nicely. And line the bottom up. I'm just going to wrap it again to make sure. Gary's asking, do you do a chain that is scale size for securing a road to road wagons or to rail wagons? You're jumping ahead of me there, Gary. I will show you in a second once I've done this. Okay, so now I've rolled that over twice. I think the best thing to do is for me to glue curved section. Plenty of glue in the corners to hold it down, plenty of glue on the edges. You can always clean any glue mistakes up with weathering or the damp cloth. So lots and lots of glue on this part since having to roll it round. Hopefully you can see this. I do apologise, quite hard. I need probably to get overhead camera like Justin has, because at the moment I'm just using a little tripod of my iPhone, so it's not very good for me to be able to show you what I'm doing. Plenty and plenty of glue. Don't think you really have too much, to be fair. Make sure you get lots in the corners so it doesn't fold up on itself. Right, let's try this then. So let's try and get the join on the bottom. This may be a bit of a pig to do, but hopefully you can see how I'm doing it. If the method I'm doing it works, you can copy me. If it doesn't, then you know how not to do it. So let's just carefully bend this round. I think it helps a lot that we've pre-formed it. We've already pre-wrapped it as a dry run. Now what we need to do is hold it tight while it goes off. Could be here for a minute or two doing this, and I wouldn't want to. Where can you see this? Put it in the sun. Hopefully that sun's not too blinding for everyone. Hopefully this is setting nicely. Hopefully there's enough bites in the glue to make it go off. So Graham's suggesting using elastic band. If I had one, I would use that, and that might be a good idea for everyone else to try. Make sure you have elastic band before you use it. So fitness and central, or cable tie, yeah, or cable tie, or anything like that, that would be a great thing to use. In fact, I knew this would come in handy one day. hopefully, let's try and get this around. This could be very fiddly of me. That's broken. That's 2. Can you hear me now? Is that okay for everyone? Hopefully, this should have worked. If you can hear me, let me know. If you can't, also let me know. Yeah, sound back on, brilliant. But sorry, there's a slight delay between the comments and what I can see. So hopefully, right, we'll crack on then, we'll be quick. I might have to end this stream shortly then if the sound keeps going and not do the long one I was wanting to do. Right, so now I'm going to do the cradle sort of thingy. Actually, if I had read the instructions a bit further, it actually says to get elastic bound around it. So that just shows that you need to read the instructions all the way through before you start a kit, because useful bits like that you might miss. So next we're going to release the base of the cradle, which is like, not sure how to explain it. It's got a little dip in it. I'll try and show you when I can release this. But we've been going for about an hour and the camera's dropped out twice now, so I'd say that's there's about half an hour using time. Okay, I've accidentally ruined that one, so we're not going to use him. I think the knife's going a bit blunt. Hopefully everyone can still hear me. Malcolm is saying he's lost sound again. Hopefully you can hear me. Unfortunately, I might have to cut this one a bit short then if the sound keeps dropping out. So thanks for joining us, Graham. Great to hear that you purchased the kits. They are superb kits. I believe these cost around £6.49 each. Oh, sorry, this is these are the £10 one, the larger cable drums, because there is more to it than this kit. Hopefully I can release these. There we go. So we've got two, I suppose, humpback bridge shape. Hopefully you can see that. So for Central, how did I ruin it? Just a bit too heavy with the knife. As you can see, that's the same looking piece, and it's just frayed at one end and isn't really usable. You could use it, you could always bring it back to life quite easily. In fact, there you go. I'll just pull that off and it looks a bit better now. Hopefully you can see that. That's a piece I ruined. But if you do mess it up by accident, it's not the end of the world. It really isn't. Okay. So next we're going to release the long H-shape pieces, which should hold it all in place. So Neil's saying he's interested to see how I paint them up. That's no issue at all. I actually have a pile of paint and equipment down off stage. So if time allows, and if the microphone doesn't quit on me like it has been, I will get them done. I'm not sure why the microphone's playing up today. Like I say, I've temporarily misplaced my normal microphone, which is why I don't have anything in my ears, and why I might sound a bit different to normal. But hopefully you can still hear me. Don't know why I chucked that away, because I still need it. Okay, so now we're going to release the smaller parts. You can see up here, you've got 8 very small little pieces. And of these, I'm not entirely sure what they're called. What they call in the instructions? Yeah, just small rectangular parts. Releasing these shouldn't be too difficult. These glue onto the ends. It's marked out where they go. So I'll show you in a second once that one's pinged off. Luckily not into the carpet monster. 3 and 4. Brilliant. Let's just put them to one side. So on the H beam, you can see that, I don't know if you can see, then the ends, there's some pre-laser engraved markers on each end. That's where little small rectangular pieces go. So for this, I might recommend using a pair of, if I can find them. There's it. There we go. Tweezers to hold everything in place. So let's get your glue back out. Small dab where you're going. You don't need much. Of course, when you press it down, it will naturally spread the glue out to fill the gap. Let's not put the glue in the sun. So I apologise if this isn't very entertaining to watch, but gluing extremely fine parts on does take a bit of concentration. Oops, so there's one. Let's get the other one on. Oops. I've used so little amount of glue that's already dried and gone off. So let's apply a tiny bit more. Do one at a time rather than all 4 in one. As I found out, the glue goes off so quickly in the sun, you don't have time to do more than one really before the glue goes off. Okay, that's the next one on. Just going to press him down. Like so. Hopefully get that bit straighter. There we go. Flip him around. Next. And let's get the next one on. Very fiddly fine parts. Very small and detailed. Quite hard to get them on while making it entertaining, to be fair. push that down, like so. Last but not least, and there we go. That should be that. That one's not quite straight. And that one's just frayed apart because it's a very fine part. Bugger. Okay, let's try and quickly glue that bit back on. If the glue will let me. Come on. There we go. Since this is like a MDF, may find that sometimes the different layers fray apart, especially with the very small stuff when you cut it. And that's annoying, but there's not much we can do about that apart from just try and glue it back on. Aaron's saying I should have to get some tweezers. Shame I'm not very good to use them. Sometimes it's just easier to try them yourself. Okay, so the next piece to do is... The instructions here are good, but they're really small to read, so it can be a bit confusing sometimes, but oh well. Oh, nearly went to the carpet monster. Two more. Oh, that has gone to carpet monster. There we go. Doo-doo-doo. Yes, Deltic Dave was saying cable tie. That is a very good shout there, Dave, because the elastic bands are more awkward to use. I suppose the cable ties are one use only, which is annoying. Okay, I'm just trying to make sure I get these in the right place. So it looks like the two beams, that says in instructions, step 10, they go over what's already there by the looks of it. It's quite simple to do then. And Deltic Dave's saying the sound is gone. Has it really? Because that'll be very annoying if it has. Sound gone? Or no gone? Hopefully that's just an error on Dave's half, and yeah, everyone can still hear me because I do not want to sort the sound out again. If that has gone. Tinker's saying it's okay on here, which is great. Sounds like brilliant. It takes a minute for the comments to come through once they've been sent, so there is sometimes a delay. Brilliant, so most people are saying that sounds okay. If the sound has gone, I do apologise. There's not much I can do about it apart from try again, unless there's some tech experts out there who know more than I do. But I'm not sure why the sound is deciding to not play today, but hopefully it holds out for the next couple of minutes while we finish off. Since the sound isn't playing ball, I might not paint them and redirect you to another video I've done where I can paint them. Right, so we can see there you've got two extra beams which you glue over the top of what's already there to make it more sturdy. Now we can remove this like so, and that's already, I don't know if you can see though, it's coming apart the bottom bit, so I'm going to run some glue into this gap. And then hopefully, I suppose it's a good thing about using this glue, it comes such a fine nozzle that you can do that. You can manipulate it better. Put the tips at the top of the instruction sheet. Yep, that is a good idea. In fact, it does actually say in the instruction sheets halfway down to use not cable ties, elastic bands to hold everything in place. Which obviously, if you read everything in one go, unlike me, that would be obvious. But I'm afraid I didn't do that because I'm a man. And instructions are for after you build something. Okay, so I'm just holding this in place now. I don't want to use elastic bands because I think maybe they were too slack. So I think lots of pressure from me might be better at holding them in. So enjoy a nice glass of council pop while I'm waiting. clean. Fresh as always. Holding that in, hopefully that. So what I'm going to do, even though I've got a couple more kits to build, I've got small crates, I've got small cable drums, since they are the same as what we've already been doing, I'm going to skip those out. I think I'm going to move straight on to painting. It is 11 o'clock. There is still 90 people watching, so if you could give me any indication if you'd like to see me paint them, let me know. If we get enough demand to see how I paint them together, I will happily do that for everyone. If not, I will have to end it and then go and complain to Mr. Apple for his annoying microphones that don't seem to work half the time. But that seems to go nicely. So I've used the pin end of the glue. I've just ran that into the offending area where it was coming up in the corners. And it is still coming up a bit, but hopefully I can press this down, just get it to go. Of course, if you had all the time in the world, you'd maybe do this the day before and keep elastic bands on overnight. But since obviously I'm entertaining people on the live stream, that is not as easy to do. Andrew's saying, what would you do without the internet? More modelling. That is very true, but then also the internet is our biggest source of reference material for kits. We use the internet quite a lot, to be fair, for our design purposes. It's superb. There's some great websites out there. There's a website called, what's it called now? Railway Photography -SmugMug. Bit of a weird name. SmugMug is, I believe, a site sort of similar to Pinterest that anyone can use to upload photos. And there's a category on there called railway modelling or railway photography. And on there is photos of pretty much every single steam engine and every diesel engine and every electric that's ever existed. And I'm not exaggerating. Obviously, maybe for things like the J50s, where there was hundreds of the buggers, not every single one is documented, but there's pretty much a photo of every single engine ever. So if you're modelling, like just now, I've got 60523 Suncastle, the brand new Hornby A23. If I wanted a reference photo of that to send to my weathering chap for how to weather, I will go on to SmugMug, which is a really funny name to say, and they will be available. Photos of exactly what I want, which is brilliant, absolutely brilliant, I think. Okay, so that, as you can see now, that sits in quite nicely. So I'm going to attempt to glue this. I think the best way to do it is going to be glue the inside of the short beams, because that seems to be the biggest point of contact for them. Now with these, you have to be careful not to use too much glue, because since it is wood that we use, it is absorbent. It does absorb water in the glue, or liquid, should I say. So if you'd use too much, you can accidentally cause the wood to saturate itself, which will make it fray up, which will unfortunately ruin your kit. So if you're ever painting these as well, if you use acrylic paint, try to prime it first. I'm going to be using acrylic paint to paint these, but I'm not going to prime it, because obviously that would mean me going outside and leaving it for a couple of hours to dry, which isn't the best TV, best entertainment, so I'm not going to be doing that. So next we are going to be gluing on the horizontal supports, which are these U-shape items, which is at least two. This is why we glued on the, what do you call them? This is why I glued on those small rectangular parts, because it just means that it gives these bits a bit of extra bite. Have you missed off the two jump pieces out? I have missed one piece out. I'm going to be honest with you, but I'm not too sure where it goes. So that's why I missed it out. There's these, I suppose, arch shape hump pieces. Yes, but like I say, I'm not too sure where they go. Okay, so they're for later, I believe. They're used for tying them down. The instruction says, for the chock slash bearers, remove the section on sheet 1, which was the smaller pieces, I believe, then glue into pairs as shown. These can be used to tie down the closed cable drums in conjunction with chain, etc. But the instructions don't show you where they go, so I'm not too sure now, so I'm going to miss those out for the sake of time. So you can see this is what we've got so far. It looks like a very deformed snail. And you have these U-shaped pieces. Use the tops of the U's, if I can sort of show you without ripping the kit apart, like I nearly did. They glue onto the small chocks. Oops. And then the large horizontal, parallel, perpendicular, whatever you want to call it, beam glues onto the cable drum. So just a blob of glue next to the, the chocks, and then some glue on the horizontal beam. I'm going to glue 2 sides of this to make sure I get good coverage. Hopefully you can see this. So they go in on the chocks if they want to go, like so, and that just glues in there. Not quite conforming, which is annoying on my half, but it's probably something I've done. I am not the best modeler at all. In fact, I'm far from it. So any, I suppose, mistakes are purely user error here. I'm sure many people on here will be able to do this much better, to a much higher quality than what I could ever hope to achieve. So I'm just going to do the opposite end now. So glue butting up to the chocks, then glue one edge of the U-shaped beam and the opposing edge. Make sure we get it the right way around. Glue the feet butting up to the chocks and press down. And then if you're finding it's a bit loose still, flip it over and attack the U-shaped beam to the base. If the glue wants to play, see a tiny bit, there we go. Put the glue upside down in the container with some wet rag. Helps the glue tip staying up, drying up, sorry. And there we go. That is your cable drum, sorry. Nice, very simple kit, perfect for, no, putting this one. So this, if people missed it in the beginning, because we don't have many people, because the link wasn't working, this is a 51L white metal Northeastern Railway plate wagon kit. If you wanted, I can hold this in place. Obviously, you might want to put this in the middle, or if you might want to pad it out with some more boxes or something on your end. Hopefully you can see that. Obviously more boxes the better that will look. I'll just hold that there for a second so you can see it. Then you've got a nice new wagon load for your white metal kits, or any wagons to be fair. And let's just get my other wagon that we're doing today, which is again 51L white metal kit built by a good friend of mine, Jesse, from Upside Down Land, also known as Australia. Timberload. Great for permanent way teams, doing, I don't know, station renovations. Well, as you can see there, it looks like you'll be able to fit 2 abreast in. Maybe not 2 lengthwise. So yeah, I did say 51L models. You can buy them from Wizard Models from Hull. Brilliant shop. wagon kits are very easy to build. If anyone's interested in watching me or learning how to build the white metal kits like I've got here on show, I should be going live on Friday to show people how it's done. People are saying in the chat as well that need something to hold them down. How about some chains? These are the range of chains that we do. Got some couple of new additions here as well. I'm not sure, these have actually fallen off the container, the little note I had telling me which one's which. So I'm not sure which one this is, but this is like a bronze medium-sized chain. Hopefully you can see that. There you go, bronze medium-sized chain. Then we have an ultra fine, this is the CX003, this one. Ultra fine chain. Apologies if you can't see that very well. I'll try and lay it across there. Hopefully you can see that. And this one is, again, CX003 again. That's the same one. What's the? That's the same. Okay, so luckily we've got a pack of CX003, which is the ultrafine chain, and the CX001 maybe, I'm thinking, which is slightly beefier coloured chain. Oops, I took that on the floor, we need it anyway. Okay, so let's just clear some space a second, and I'll have a look at getting a load secured. This wagon still needs painting, as you can tell. It's not, don't be fooled, it's not only our Silver Jubilee wagon, although I wish they existed. It just needs painting. So for this, you position it roughly in the middle, or roughly where you want it. If you had, obviously, further load, you position them at the end, such as your box, or whatever you're doing. But with these, if you just were doing one, obviously you load it in the middle. This is, I suppose, a permanent weight wagon. This was used for plates, metal plates. So this isn't a too unprototypical load for this type of wagon. You get your chain. You get reference material to see where this goes. But so it might be quite hard for me to show you because my arm seems to be very good at getting in the way. But you would look at securing them down either on the inside or the outside of your wagon. Simply cut these with maybe an old pair of track cutters or any old pliers you've got. We'll cut these quite easily. We don't do the hooks to go the chains. That is something we could probably look at doing. I imagine that'd be quite easy to do, and I've got it wrapped around the buffer, which I have no idea how I've done that. I have no idea how. There we go. So obviously you'd refer to reference material. Now for the reference material for this, again, if you go back to the website I was talking about, is Railway Photography Smugmug. Smugmug, SMUGMUG, really weird name. So I think it's sort of like Pinterest, but there's reference photos for everything on there. Absolutely everything you could ever want. So I would highly recommend you go over to their Smugmug to find pictures of your wagons that you want, to find pictures of the loads and see how it's secured. Always good to use reference material because I'm not too sure where this would be tied down, to be honest. So I'll go over to the site, research it, find out where, and then I can use them to then replicate my model with that. So a couple of people asking about Friday's live stream. It's not dead cert yet. I placed my order for the coach, for the wagons and the coach on Monday night. So if they are with me by Friday, then I would hopefully try and do the live stream Friday night after work. So sort of like 6, half 6-ish. That's in the air at the moment. It's not a dead cert to happen, but if it does, I will get or ask Justin to send out a newsletter maybe. Central hole. Oh yeah, I didn't know about that, to be fair. So Ian is saying that I go through a central hole because there is a hole in the middle. This chain is too big, it's too thick, so you'd maybe use a CX003 chain, which is again available from our website. Feed that through the middle, like so, But I imagine if I can feed that through a bit and pinch it so it doesn't move, go like that. Oops, and you can't see it. So I'm not too, like I said, I'm not too sure how these will be secured to these wagons. Looks like you've got hooks at the top of each wagon. Let's check on the larger plate wagon. No hooks on this, but this is a plate wagon, so maybe slightly different. So does that fit? Oh, perfect. I've just actually noticed that the cable drum fits perfectly within this 3-plank wagon or 2-plank wagon I've got. Which, so if I can do this quickly, you would feed this chain through. I'll quickly try and show you how it goes together. Won't have time to paint anything today, unfortunately, but if you go back to week before last live stream, I did our latest platform kit, which is the maintenance depot steam shed platform. I painted that in wood, so if you go back to the last week before last, you'll be able to see how I did that. So it looks to me, if you're securing it, that is how you'd do it. Obviously you replicate the same at the other end, but you've got some hooks on the corners of each wagon, which I imagine would be used to secure the load. You might want to put 2 on each side, if that makes sense. So 2 rows of the chain to make sure that's all secured in. But always, 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 always refer back to reference material. Always do that, so you can make sure that you're getting prototypical, accurate wagon load. So, unfortunately, since the microphone seems to keep cutting out, I will call the live stream there. Let's get my mug back on. Bear with 1 second. So you can see me, you lucky things. Yeah, so that's it for today. I will try and post a link to the week before last live stream so you can see how a painted wood effect. I used, I'll show you, this set, the Life Colour Weathered Wood. It's available from our website. $16.99 each. You get a set of, quickly open it to show you. You get a set of 6 paints per pack. They're all varying shades to create a nice wood effect. I highly recommend them, and they are available from our website at $16.99 for a pack. And I will I'll either get a new video out this week or next week to show you how I painted them, skipping the building process, just focusing on the paints. If not, try and go back to the week before last live stream for the local maintenance platform and skip towards the end, because I actually painted them at the end of that video because my microphone was working then. So it was easier for me to do, shall we say. So thank you everyone for watching. Anyone got any questions, you can fire them over to me at help@ScaleModelScene.co.uk, or you can call myself and Ian on 01530 456 952, I believe. In fact, let me just double check on 01530 456 952, just checking on the wagon load, so it's got a phone number written on it. But thanks everyone for watching. Much appreciate everyone tuning in. Great as always, see everyone, making sure everyone's okay, looking out for each other in these troubling times. So any questions, fire them over, and hopefully you'll see Justin next week doing another live build. If not, you'll be blessed with me again. Not sure what's a good thing or a bad thing. I imagine most of you prefer Justin, but here I am. But thank you for putting up with the microphone as well. I know that was quite annoying for me, and it must be very annoying for you. But I'm glad I managed to learn how to solve it during the end, even though it took a while to get around that. Yeah, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone for voting for us for in the BRM Awards, because we actually won gold medal for customer service, which is absolutely brilliant. The whole team is thrilled with that. We are all we're just buzzing over that. So a huge thank you to everyone for voting for us, and hopefully I will see you all either on Friday next week or the week after that. So thanks for watching. Any modelling you've done, please post on our Facebook group, which is rowingmodelers.com. Just referring you back, that railway photography site I found with hundreds and thousands of reference photos is Railway Photography Smug Mug. It's a brilliant site. I'll try and put a link in the Facebook group earlier. Looking through. Yep, if I do the live build on Friday night, I will try and get Justin to send the correct link out. But like I say, it all depends on the postman. If he and Wizard Model, so I can get the order of it before Friday night, I will definitely do it then. If not, I might save it for next week. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day, have a good week, stay safe and happy modelling, and keep on shunting. So thank you for watching, everyone, and have a good day. Ta-ra now.